We have seen many landscapes with a complex, diverse community of plants and animals, such as a forest which were once a land with empty rocks. These are now supporting a rich ecological community consisting of populations of different species that live together and interact with one another. This change took many years. Ecologists have a strong interest in understanding how communities form and change over time. In fact, they have spent a lot of time in observing how complex communities like forests have arisen from empty land or bare rock. They studied many sites such as where volcanic eruptions, glacier retreats or wildfires have taken place, clearing land or exposing rock. In studying these sites over time, ecologists have seen gradual processes of change in ecological communities. In many cases, a community arising in a disturbed area goes through a series of shifts in composition, often over the course of many years. These series of changes are called as ecological succession. Ecological succession. Ecological succession means the natural development of a series of biotic communities one after the other in the same area till a permanent climax community is established. The ecological succession is also called biotic succession. The first community to inhabit an area is termed as pioneer community. The succeeding ones are called transitional communities and the last one is called as the climax community. The entire series of communities is known as a seer and the individual transitional communities are known as serial stages. The pioneer community shows very little diversity and it takes the maximum time to alter the environment by which the environment becomes fit for the next community. The climax community is stable, shows considerable diversity and persists as long as no disturbance occurs. The serial stages from the pioneer community to the climax community are called as xeroseers if the ecological succession starts on the terrestrial habitat, for example, a bare rock or land, and as hydroseers if it begins from open water. Xeroseers are of two types, lithoseers which start on a bare rock and samoseers which begin on sand. In Greek, samos means sand. Ecological succession occurring in water is known as hydrarch. Ecological succession shows certain characteristic features. It starts with small, short-lived plants and progresses toward large, long-lived plants. It leads from low to very high diversity of life. It tends to progress toward a state of stability, means complete adjustment with the environment. It results in gradual increase in the biomass. It involves considerable niche specialization. It brings about gradual development of soil and its humus content. It changes simple food chains to complex food webs. Its serial stages are so regular and directional that an ecologist, by examining a particular serial community living in a given habitat, can often predict the sequences of future communities. In successive serial stages, there is a change in the species of organisms and also an increase in the number of species. Succession of plant and animal communities occurs side by side. Ecological succession is of two types according to the condition of site where it occurs: primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession. The primary succession occurs in the barren, soilless, uninhabited regions such as igneous rock emerged from the sea, a pile of rocks left when a mountain side caves in, area exposed by a retreating glacier or lake, sand dune, lave deposit, newly submerged area, etc. It takes a very long time, usually 1000 years or more. Secondary succession. The secondary succession takes place in the previously inhabited, but somehow distributed areas. It is easy and is completed quickly. Because the area already has soil and some vegetation, for example, underground stems, secondary succession takes about 50 to 100 years for the regeneration of a grassland and 100 to 200 years for a forest. Primary autotrophic succession is completed through a number of sequential steps. These are nudation. The first step is the creation of bare area through any of the natural agencies such as wind, erosion, landscape, volcanic eruptions, floods, drought, storm, frost, fire, epidemic disease, human activities, etc. Invasion and dispersion. The organisms settling for the first time on the bare area invade the said area through abiotic mode such as water and wind, or biotic mode, for example, along with the bodies of other animals. This transfer of seeds, spores or other propagules of the first settler species to the bare area is called migration. Establishment or equiescence. The species invading the bare area must grow, establish and reproduce for successful succession. This largely depends on the characteristic of substratum, climatic and other environmental factors of the area. Those species which are adjusted to this situation ultimately get established. As a result of equiescence, individuals of the species become established in the area. Aggregation. After equiescence, the individuals of the species increase in number by reproduction and they come close to each other. This process is called aggregation. Competition and coaction. Initially, many species invade the bare area simultaneously, but those which find the environment favorable finally establish and get aggregated at the limited available area. This results in interspecific and intraspecific competition for space and nutrition. Various kinds of interspecific and intraspecific interactions affect the individuals of species in various ways, which are called as coactions. The species which are unable to compete are ultimately discarded. Survival of the species is governed by a combination of various factors such as high reproductive ability, wide ecological amplitudes, small seed size and large number of seeds per plant, as well as allelopathic properties of plants. Reaction. The living organisms influence and get influenced by the environment reciprocally. This is regarded as reaction. As a result of reaction, various changes takes place in soil, water, light conditions, temperature, etc. of the area. Therefore, the environment of the area gets modified and becomes unsuitable for the community existing there. This community after some time gets replaced by another community which is known as seral community. This process goes on and various developing communities in that area are called seral communities or developmental stages. Stabilization, climax. The terminal stage in the process of succession is called as climax. The final community becomes more or less stabilized for a longer period of time and it can maintain itself in perfect equilibrium with the climatic and edaphic conditions of the area. This final community is called as the climax community and this stage is called as the climax stage. Biotic succession on bare rock. Primary succession begins in barren areas such as on bare rock exposed by a retreating glacier. This area lacks soil, water, organic matter and plant life. It may have a small animal community consisting of some insects and birds. The insects feed on drift material and are fed upon by birds. Plants cannot grow on a rock due to lack of water and nutrients and high day temperature caused by the sun. Biotic succession proceeds on a rocky beach in some steps. Lichen stage. Lichens which are adapted to exposed conditions are the first to appear on a rocky beach. These lichens are resistant to desiccation and extreme conditions of temperature. Their propagules drop by wind on a bare rock, moistened by rain or dew develop, attaching rhizoids and grow into lichens. The lichens produce organic acids which corrode the rock surface. This produces depressions and releases minerals which facilitate further growth of the lichens. The lichens hold the fine particles which are brought by wind in the depressions to initiate soil formation. Dead lichens contribute organic matter to the newly formed soil which becomes fertile. Now, larger lichens arrive. They increase soil and its organic matter and kill the earlier small lichens by shading them. Moss stage. In the soil formed by lichens appears the first plant community. It consists of mosses that can gain a hold in even a thin layer of lichen remains and rock dust. Mosses are taller and gregarious, thus they kill the lichens with their shade and replace them. Mosses break up the rock further and add their own dead bodies to the soil, increasing its thickness, fertility and water holding capacity. Grass stage. The seeds of small rooted plants can germinate and grow now. These soil binding grasses hold the rock particles in place. Their roots penetrate deeper, causing more weathering of rocks. Being larger, the grasses now replaces the mosses. As the time passes, grasses die, adding more moisture retaining humus to the soil. This changes the composition of the soil and gradually develops conditions in which perennial grasses, cynodon, can grow. These grasses rapidly spread by means of runners and rhizomes. They further enrich the soil in which annual herbs, then biennials and perennial herbs can grow. All these plants in turn add to the thickness and fertility of the soil. Shrub state. This soil can now support the shrubs such as Ziziphus caparis. The latter gradually replace the grasses and herbs. The roots of the shrubs go deeper and fragment more rock material, making the soil still thicker. Their dead and decaying leaves add organic matter that makes soil more fertile and moist. Tree stage. In the final stage, the trees come in to replace the shrubs. By transpiration, the trees make the environment cool and moist. Their large size makes the environment shadier. The trees are not replaced and form the climax community. The type of climax community is determined by the climate of the region. Rainforests develop in the moist, warm, tropical zones, and coniferous or deciduous forests grow in the cool, temperate regions. The plants of each community modify the soil by adding humus, thereby enabling the next community to grow. The plants of earlier communities in the succession can grow in full sunlight. The growth of trees causes shade formation, which makes earlier plants unable to grow. Therefore, each serial community modifies the conditions in such a way that these are less favorable for itself and more favorable for the next community. In fact, each community acts to end itself. Animal communities. Succession of plant communities is accompanied by succession of animal communities. Each plant community in the sphere is inhabited by a characteristic group of animals. The grass and shrub communities have spiders and grasshoppers. The forest community has ants, termites, earthworms, snails, centipedes, millipedes, birds, squirrels and many more. Duration. The development of climax forest on bare rocks, that is primary succession, takes at least 1000 years. Secondary succession. Secondary succession is the succession of communities in previously inhabited areas which have been naturally or artificially disturbed and where soil and some organisms are already present. Natural phenomena such as avalanches, massive snowslides, landslides, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, floods, prolonged severe drought and forest fires set by lightning or human activity destroy existing communities and pave the way for secondary succession. An abandoned field, heavily overgrazed pasture, deforested tract also provide an occasion for secondary succession of communities. Secondary succession is much faster than the primary succession, because the soil and certain organisms are already present. Surviving seeds, underground stems, persisting and new invading species rapidly grow on the return of favorable conditions. This reestablishes the biotic community through necessary serial changes in due course of time. In an abandoned field, grasses and annual weed quickly move in and cover the soil with a carpet of low vegetation. Some taller perennial plants move in. These new plants shade the ground and their long roots monopolize the soil water. the seedlings of the pioneer species now find difficult to grow. The tall herbs are in turn deprived of sunlight and water by the shrub, which get the same treatment from the trees. Finally, a forest of climax species is established to persist till it is disturbed. A destroyed grassland may take 50 to 100 years and a damaged forest over 200 years to recover fully. A clear tropical rainforest invaded by the moss sphagnum or an exotic weed such as Lantina camara fails to regenerate itself. Fugitive species. The species which occur in an area for a short period of time only during ecological succession are known as fugitive species. Climax state. When a habitat is not disturbed, community does not change. Succession stops and a steady state is reached between the environment and the plant and animal communities. This climax is reached probably because stable ones do not exist. The existing climax community can tolerate the conditions it has created for itself and continues permanently. Potentially, climax is determined by the climate of the region. If other limiting factors remain constant, all successions will attain the stable climax determined by the climate. Variation in soil or water condition may cause succession to end short of their goal. Ecological succession is caused by two factors operating simultaneously: biotic and physiographic. Biotic factors. In these, the organisms themselves direct succession. The action of each seral community makes the area less favorable for the itself and more favorable for the next seral community in the succession. This continues until the stable climax community arrives. Thus, each community derives itself out of its habitat. Physiographic factors. These include climate and other physical factors such as erosion of hills, filling up of lakes and streams with silt, rise and fall of earth's surface, fire, etc. Reversing of ecological succession. Human actions such as lumbering, grazing, cattle, farming and urbanization may set ecological succession back. The practical importance of ecological succession lies in reforestation, range management and other human activities. Sometimes, efforts to restore fire destroyed forests by planting dominant species of the climax community often fail due to strong sunlight, uncontrolled erosion and competition with weeds, rodents and shrubs which were favored in early stages of succession. Man should take necessary steps to save the water reservoirs used for irrigation and hydroelectric purposes from being filled up by biotic succession. A species can often be controlled more effectively by modifying the biotic community than by attempting to control it directly. For instance, the best way to increase the quail population is not to raise and release quails or to destroy the predators, but to manage the biotic community in a manner that ensures reproductive success of the quail species. There are many advantages of studying the biotic succession. Grasses and herbs of a pasture can be maintained by halting the ecological succession through interference such as grazing or fire. Water reservoirs can be saved by checking biotic succession and silting. Reforestation and afforestation can be successfully done by following the proper sequence of ecological succession. Growth of desired species can be ensured by preventing the next cereal stage to invade the region. Ecological dominance. A succession stage in the cereal is usually named after one or a few plant species which influence the entire community because of their size and numbers. These are called dominant species. Saul, Shorea robusta, trees dominant in a Saul forest. Teak, Tectona grandis, trees dominant in a teak forest. Pine, Pinus and oak, Quercus, trees are dominant species in temperate forests. The latter are distinguished as pine forest where pine trees dominate and as oak forest where oak trees abound. The tropical rainforest, as in the Andaman Islands, have over a dozen dominant species because of milder conditions. The dominant species are different for each successive stage in a seer. For example, on a bare rock, lichen dominant in the first stage, grasses in the second stage, followed in order by herbs, shrubs and trees. Conclusion. In this program, we have learned about ecological succession along with its various types and the process of succession. We have also seen the example of primary and secondary ecological succession. We have also done a short discussion of practical importance and advantages of ecological succession.